Everything's been running fine, your queue is moving, your functions are processing, and the system feels stable. Until one message refuses to die. The same message is retried endlessly. Throughput stalls, concurrency drops, and your backlog grows hour by hour. Endless retries is poison message detected. You are watching one bad payload paralyze an entire queue. In production, configure your service bus or event hub with a dead letter queue, or for storage queues, set the max DQ count property in host.json. Add alerts on dead letter queue length, and that's your early warning system. So here we see an Azure function which is triggered by service bus trigger. We are monitoring the same queue, or we are accessing the same queue, which is the orders queue specified in this connection string. The incoming payload is serialized into the order class, and one of the messages fails, and that causes the poison messages to appear in the queue. So how do we solve it? We create one more queue called dead letter queue, and we have a processor service bus triggered function for the dead letter queue, and we read the dead letter queue messages in a different service bus triggered function. So what happens is, whenever there is a poison message detected, service bus itself will push that message because of any exception or something. It will push that message into a dead letter queue, and this function, which is the poison handler, since it is tied to the dead letter queue, it keeps getting triggered whenever there is a message in the dead letter queue. So you can handle based on whatever your scenario is in the dead letter queue, and you can also set up monitoring for the length of the queue or the number of messages in the dead letter queue. So this way you know how many messages are landing up in the dead letter queue and whether the dead letter triggered Azure function is functioning properly or not. So based on the length of the queue or the number of messages in the queue. That's how you deal with poison messages. Whenever there is an exception thrown by the processing logic of any of the messages in the queue, it causes that message to be pushed to the dead letter queue by the service bus runtime itself. And then when you have another function wired up to receive messages and process messages from the dead letter queue, that's how we handle the poison messages. So enable dead letter queue if you're using service bus queues, or set the max DQ count if you are using Azure storage queues. Add alerts on the dead letter queue length and add a fallback